Vatican is likely the most corrupt institution in our world. The Vatican is no stranger to murder, child trafficking, drug trafficking, sex exploitation, and cover-ups. Arguably one of the most famous basilicas in the world, underneath it lies a mass graveyard. So located about 5 stories beneath the basilica is actually another temple dating back to the Roman Empire. That's over 2,000 years of dead bodies. If you're wondering if those bodies are of Christians or Catholics, they're not. It was actually used for pagans. And here are some of the mosaic tiles that they found beneath the Vatican in the temple that it's built on top of. So here's a quote from one of the popes. "I believe that the church not only should apologize to the person who is gay, whom it has offended, but it has to apologize to the poor, to the exploited women, to children exploited for labor. It has to ask forgiveness for having blessed many weapons." That's a little ironic considering what the Vatican has done to make sure that it's always protected and people never expose them. This is Pope John Paul I, and he died 33 days after his election. Now, the conspiracy around his death is that he found out the Vatican was laundering mass amounts of money, and he was going to rectify the situation of getting rid of everybody in the Vatican that was corrupt. His plans were announced straight after he became the Pope, and he died 33 days later. In 2015, it was uncovered that 2 cases of child were found within the Vatican walls. And get this, not everybody involved was named, only a couple names took the blow for everybody else in the Vatican. And then the year before that, the government actually intercepted 3 deliveries directed to the Vatican, all containing drugs. Cocaine was found in condoms inside of these 3 deliveries that were intercepted. They were handed over to the Vatican in hopes that somebody within the walls would disclose who this was going to, but nobody came forward. This is St. Peter's obelisk, and not a lot of people know where it comes from. One of Rome's cruelest emperors, Caligula, actually stole this from one of Egypt's cities, Heliopolis. He stole it from Egypt and he transported it to Rome, and you know what he did with it? It was used to murder and execute Christians. They would round up every single Christian that they could find, chain them, bound them, bring them to the obelisk, and brutally murder them. Vatican.
Can't hear you, girl, but this is too much. We ain't even 3 minutes into the work. We ain't even 5 minutes into the Okay. We gotta keep going though. We gotta keep going.
Books is called the Grand Grimoire or the Red, and this book is about black magic. It harnesses spells and rituals, but many believe this is the book that they use to summon the devil when they are selling their souls. Kind of like the Book of the Illuminati. The conspiracies of the Vatican can go on and on and on. It's truly a never-ending cycle.
Give me a second. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna get back into it. I just needed to recenter myself because I just chowed.
What are the origins of the word Vatican? The word Vatican cannot be traced to the Bible and is not Latin or Greek in origin. It in fact predates the Bible and is closely related to Vatica, the Etruscan goddess of the underworld. Before the Roman Empire, the Etruscans settled the region 3,000 years ago. The Etruscans built a large cemetery along the hillside in the area that later became Rome. The goddess Vatica was the guardian of this necropolis. There was also a bitter-tasting grape called Vatica that grew along the hillside. This grape was used to make wine, which had psychoactive properties and oftentimes led to hallucinations. The Latin word vaticinare was then created, which means to predict. The origin of the word Vatican is uncertain according to the Catholic Encyclopedia. Other sources link the word to the Etruscan language. Vatican Hill takes its name from Vaticanus. the Latin word alluding to the drug-induced oracles and soothsayer priestesses who would deliver their prophecies on the hill before the rise of Rome. The area, which is now St. Petersburg, became known as Ager Vaticanus, or Vatican Hill. The head exorcist of the Vatican has publicly stated that the devil dwells inside.
Since I have to keep repeating myself, the Romans did not create the Holy Scriptures. They stole it from Africa and gave you a false doctrine to colonize the world. Prophecy is true, just not how you were taught. The world is indoctrinated by the Roman doctrine. No matter what religion you are in, you are following the Roman timeline. Since some people don't believe in articles, here are some live news that speaks about the Vatican apologizing for colonizing the world with false doctrine.
The Vatican helped Europe colonize the world, that it justified European colonialism in the name of spreading Christianity, that there are papal decrees that allowed European empires to take over entire countries. And for what? To allow colonizers to subjugate people, to take away their lands, wage war on their cultures, impose a self-conceived notion of racial superiority over them. And all of this just because the colonizers claimed that they were the ones who discovered new lands. So they had a right to rule over those new lands. Now the Vatican has come forward and apologized for what it did. It has apologized for helping the colonizers. Here's a report.
Have you heard something called the doctrine of discovery? It's Europe's version of finders, keepers. It's what European colonizers used to subjugate the world. The doctrine was cited by Europeans who discovered new lands, and the doctrine traces its roots back to the Vatican and to the Catholic Church. Now the Church has apologized for helping colonizers in their conquests. On Thursday, the Vatican issued an unprecedented statement. It officially apologized for its historical role in justifying colonialism by European powers. The Vatican said, "The Roman Catholic Church repudiates those concepts that fail to recognize the inherent human rights of indigenous peoples, including what has become known as the legal and political doctrine of discovery." It also declared that the doctrine is not part of the Christian's faith, but the Vatican is centuries late. The doctrine of discovery is a concept laid out in the so-called papal bulls. What are these? These are usually official statements from the head of the Catholic Church. That would be the Pope. So no less than the popes were involved in justifying European colonialism. Their decrees were used extensively in the conquest of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Africa, and the United States. The colonizers claimed that they had the approval of the Church to have sovereignty, property, and commercial rights in lands they discovered.
The Vatican made a historic announcement today, rejecting the doctrine of discovery. Sav Jonesa has that story.
After numerous calls to rescind a 15th century doctrine, the Vatican stopped short of that today. Instead, they repudiated the doctrine's concepts as never been considered expressions of the Catholic faith. The doctrine of discovery is widely known as a tool of colonization, used to justify Christian conquest of indigenous peoples.
They just now doing this, y'all. Let's move on.
I am so into reading forgotten books and spirituality, and the Vatican scares the absolute crap out of me. So I've been reading this book, The Secrets of the Vatican.
It just seemed like everybody just keeps saying the Vatican scares them.
And there is some crazy, crazy stuff in here. I was actually raised in the Catholic Church, and I still believe in God, but there is some kind of dark energy around the Vatican, and I think we should talk about it considering the season. First of all, let's talk about the fact that the Bible originally contained more books than are currently listed in the Bible. The Bible currently has 66 books, but these are some of the names of the deleted texts from the Bible that were removed by the Vatican. And look at the names of some of them, like the Book of Giants. A lot of these books talk about mystical creatures like giants and dragons and subjects like the apocalypse. And it's just like, why would you take them out? The Vatican Secrets book also talks about these 3 children from Portugal who claim that they witnessed the presence of the Virgin Mary. Mary gave each of them a secret. The 3rd secret was given to the youngest child, Lucia. This is her here as an adult, but it was never revealed until the Pope begged her. She sealed it in wax and gave it to him and said, "Do not open this until 1960. And the secret was apparently about the end of the world. She said that it was the persecution of Christians that would eventually cause the apocalypse. There's a section of the book that talks about the Vatican's proof of aliens. So apparently, if you've heard of the Anunnaki, which is a race of aliens, the Vatican apparently has proof that they exist.
The Vatican is sitting on top of some shady ass secrets, and they're sitting in front of something that looks shady as hell too. Let's just put that out there. But I also think that they are hiding alien life from us, and let's get into the reasons why. Now, the Vatican owns the LBT sitting on top of Mount Graham. LBT stands for Large Binocular Telescope, and it's actually the world's largest optical telescope. So if anyone was going to be able to see alien life, it would be the Vatican. Mount Graham is extremely sacred to the Native Americans in that area, and we'll get into that into another video. But it also is known as a hot spot for alien activity or UFO sightings. That's not it. On top of having this large telescope in an area that is known for UFO spottings, they also have another telescope that they share with the University of Arizona dubbed Lucifer 1. It provides a powerful tool to gain spectacular insights into the universe, from the Milky Way to extreme distant galaxies. So again, I say, if anyone was going to be able to see alien life in our skies, it would be the Vatican. For my next piece of evidence, Pope Francis literally said he would baptize little green Martians if they asked him to. Now, why would he say something like this? He is the leader of the Roman Catholic Church, and if aliens are real, it brings all of religion into question. So I'm confused. But I'm not stopping there. This is painted inside the Vatican. Please look at the top left and the top right-hand corner. What do you see? Those look like little spaceships to me, but let's get closer. You're telling me those aren't little men in spaceships? Bullshit. And then this is carved into the side of the Vatican. That looks like a little alien man, right? That doesn't look like a normal man. And then let's just go back to what they're sitting in front of. What the hell is that? That looks like something straight out of an alien sci-fi movie.
You guys, I have been reading about the girl that went missing in the Vatican that was never found, and it is blowing my mind. What's even crazier is what they found while trying to locate her remains, if there were any remains. Because again, she went missing while on her way home from music school, and she was actually the daughter of an employee at the Vatican. Oh, and the Pope tried to lie and say that it was something that happened from a terrorist attack, and they later debunked that and called the Pope a liar. Emanuela Orlandi was a 15-year-old girl, or the daughter of a Venetian employee, that went missing in 1983. Yeah, so this is a picture of her and her family, and you can see that she's standing with the Pope and her father, who actually worked for the Vatican for quite amount of time. This is why they were so early to debunk the fact that she got lost. Emanuela was on her way home from music school, but she never made it home. So when she disappeared, the Pope tried to say that she was kidnapped in a terrorist attack to try to get back at the Pope by the KGB. And detectives later turned that around and said, no, you're lying. We investigated. This had nothing to do with the terrorist attack, which is scary in itself. So they launched an investigation where they started going through the Vatican and digging up bones to see if they could find the remain of Emanuela. Here's where this gets super creepy. So when they started looking for remains of Emanuela or any signs for her in the Vatican, they actually found trap doors that led to storage areas that were meant for keeping bones. Or should I say storage deposits. You guys, they found thousands and thousands of bones and bone fragments in this bone deposit. Yeah, what makes this crazy is the Vatican has tons of secret passageways and back rooms. This is one of them, so it probably would not have been hard for them to hide Emanuela. They even have areas like this that the police still haven't even searched. Yeah, so some of the theories is that she was taken by the Rome underworld, or that she was taken by the pedophile group that is assumptionally believed to be the Pope's. I don't know, you guys. It's not adding up. So this day, Emanuela is still missing, and the Pope just said that they're going to turn over, I guess, evidence. So we'll see what that is, but this story is creepy AF.
The Grand Grimoire is purported to be a secret book stored in the Vatican archives. It is considered a real book because the Vatican claims ownership of it, but has never allowed anyone to view its contents. Allegedly, the book was discovered in the tomb of Solomon in 1750, yet it bears the date 1522. The author of the book, Honorius of Thebes, is said to be Satan himself, or possessed by Satan for the purpose of writing the book. Some theorists suggest that the book possesses supernatural qualities, as it cannot be torn, burned, pierced, penetrated, or otherwise damaged or destroyed. It is claimed to be the only book containing the knowledge of a precise ritual for summoning Satan and other powerful demons. Additionally, the book is said to include precise information about the locations of biblical relics and even contains Satan's personal sketches of the faces of Judas.
Of course. This is the type of books that they would have in the Vatican.
The chronovisor is said to be a device that gives the user the ability to see through time. Though the existence of the chronovisor has never been proven, a 2002 book by Vatican priest, Father Francois Brune, says otherwise. According to Brune, the chronovisor was developed by Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a Benedictine monk. Ernetti allegedly kept the device secret until the early 1960s, when he confided in Brune and told him that 12 scientists, including famed physicist Enrico Fermi and former Nazi scientist Wernher von Braun, helped him to build it. Made of
Let me tell you something about them Nazis. They had a lot of technology that's not earthly. They knew about a lot of stuff. They had a lot of deals with non-human beings. So I'm starting, like, I was skeptical at first, but it's starting to, like, you know, add up a little bit for me. Anytime when you see a Nazi involved, especially when it's helping, like, some other country or some other group of people, yeah.
cathode rays, antennae, and metals that received sound and light signals on all wavelengths. The chronovisor purportedly allowed the team of scientists to document events of the past, including the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The machine, therefore, could validate the teachings of the Bible simply by providing a first-hand look into the past. Brune explains how he met Father Ernetti on a boat ride across Venice's Grand Canal in the early 1960s. Like Brune, Ernetti was well versed in the history of ancient languages, which made for natural conversation. But soon, Ernetti directed their chat towards science. Brune had been expounding on the many ways in which the Christian Bible could be interpreted when Ernetti suggested that he had access to the truth via a time-traveling device. Ernetti claimed that he and a group of renowned scientists came together in a mutual quest to uncover the past. One scientist was Fermi, who won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1938, and another was the ex-Nazi von Braun, whose work at NASA got America to the moon. According to Ernetti, the device had several antennae, 3 of which were made of mysterious metals that picked up sound and light waves across their entire respective spectrums. A direction finder on the device was allegedly tuned into the specific era one wanted to view, while a screen displayed it and a recording device captured the footage. The chronovisor was thus more of a window into the past than a time machine. Ernetti said it worked like a television.
So I'm a firm believer that us as very powerful, soul-connected, source, godly connected beings on this planet, we have the ability to look into the past and look into the future. I've done it before. I'm pretty sure y'all have done it when you have those deja vus, where you had a dream that you couldn't understand at that moment, but it happened in real life. So apparently there is a time machine in the Vatican. So I've heard all I need to hear for today. Let me know if y'all want a part 2 to this topic or this video. Thank you for watching. Definitely got a little educated on the Vatican. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I love y'all, and, you know, enjoy life.